Yeah, so now we know the length of the longest common subsequence. We just derived it in the previous segment. It is 4. So obviously the next step is, now that you know the optimal value, you want to figure out what configuration or what parameters of the variables or what is the entity which leads to that optimal value. In this case, you want to find the sequence itself, the longest common subsequence itself. So now, because we also took the effort of drawing those arrows while filling the table, the backtracking becomes very easy for us. So you will start at the bottom right grid, because as the name suggests, it is backtracking. So you'll start from the end and you'll work your way up to the beginning. You'll go in the reverse order. So start from the end as usual, and you will trace the course of the arrow. So if the arrow says go left, you'll go to the left grid. If it says go up, you'll go up. If it says go top left, you'll go to the top left grid. And there is just one thing you will do. When you have an up arrow or a left arrow, you will simply move one grid in that direction. So if it's an up arrow, you'll just move one step above. If it's a left arrow, you'll just move one step to the left. You're not going to take any character from there and add it to the LCS. Why? Because we used these arrows when the cells you were comparing were not having, when the characters you were comparing were not equal. So for instance, you take this cell here, which corresponds to C along one sequence and B along the other sequence. So there is a left arrow here, because if you remember from our definition of the optimal structure, we only used an up arrow or left arrow when both the row and column did not correspond to the same character. So if it's a B on one side and a C on another side, it cannot be a part of the LCS. So you're not going to take either the C or the B. You will simply move in the direction in which this cell tells you to move. Whereas if you have a cell with a top left arrow, if you remember from the way we defined our arrow rule or whatever you like to call it, when these two alphabets or when these two letters were the same, we did 1 plus top left, and that is when we put the top left arrow. So if there's a C here and a C here, then you'll find a top left arrow. So whenever you find a top left arrow in this grid, it means the row and the column correspond to the same character, meaning that character is a part of our longest common subsequence. So when you find a top left arrow, you will pick that character, you will add it to your string, and then you will jump to the top left grid. So you will start over here and you will just repeat this process until you reach one of the zeros. So when you have done that, you will have the final string you have to reverse it, and that will be your LCS, because we started at the end. So I will explain this with an example and then it will make more sense. So this is the same table which we filled over here. So we start here. This one says left arrow, so you will not worry about what character this cell corresponds to. Simply jump one step left. If you see here, this is a top left arrow. So this is a B and this is also a B. So to your string, you will add the letter B and then jump top left. Again, you see this is a top left arrow, A comma A. So to your string, add A. So your LCS now is BA. Jump top left. This is a left arrow, so simply jump. You come here. This is a top left arrow, D comma D. So add the letter D. So it is BAD. Jump again. Again, this is a top left arrow. You see B here. So you add a B. So your longest common subsequence as of now is BADB. And then you jump top left. You reach a 0. That is your base case. So you stop. So if you do this backtrack, your LCS contains BADB. Now, because we started from the end and went to the beginning, whatever we got would be the reverse of the LCS. So you simply have to reverse this string and you will see BDAB. So this is the longest common subsequence between these two. And if you take a pen and paper and work out manually, you will verify that this is the same longest common subsequence between these two. So this is how we backtrack. So I'll quickly recap the backtracking portion. It's very simple actually compared to any of your other DP backtracking. You start at the bottom right, you simply follow the arrows. Whenever you have a top left arrow, you will include that character to your string. And you just keep jumping till you reach a 0 grid. Then finally you take your string, you reverse it, you will get your LCS.